This is probably going to be the most difficult in-box review I've ever done, mainly due to the size of the subject. This is Dragon's new 1/6 scale Sherman M4A3 105mm howitzer tank. To say it is large is an understatement. It is huge. Honestly, we are having difficulties even getting this whole model in shot, and what we only have here is the basic hull. It's very nicely detailed in some areas, not so in others. The hull itself features very good weld detail. If we turn the turret round, you will see that there is absolutely no trace of the cast texture on the hull or on the turret, which is a bit of a shame because they managed that in the 35th scale model. Obviously later variants are going to come, and here we can see some detail edging which will have to be removed where they've used an inset mould to provide the side hatch. Now, as I say, we're trying to say this is a big model. There is just no real way to get the size of this beast across. Now, what we did actually happen to have in the studio was another Sherman. This is a 1/72nd scale Sherman Firefly. Just to give you an idea of the difference in size. I mean, it is massive. When looking at Dragon's kit, we are completely baffled by it. In some areas we have really good detail, like the grille sections, and then in other areas it's really let down. I just really don't know what's going on here. Items like on the grille decking, the handles are just moulded as solid rectangular blocks. They all need to be cut off and removed because realistically no modeller is going to want to keep those on the model. The hull, front bulk, has again absolutely no cast detail, very smooth. We'll definitely need something added to it. Quite how you're going to do it in this scale, I'm not sure yet. I think it's going to have to be a Dremel tool. Here we go. This is the opposite side. Really nice detail. If we look at the hatches, you'll see the cast numbers are all on there. There's a lot of cast numbers moulded onto the Sherman. They're not all present, but there's an attempt, and that's certainly better than nothing at all. As we know, this is the 102mm howitzer version, but you do get all the parts in the kit to build 76mm gun, which can be seen here. The 102mm gun is a lot shorter and a lot stubbier. That's it. This one actually is okay, but you do have quite a nasty sink mark which will need to be filled, and I'm not sure if the depth of the barrel is sufficient. I might want to deepen that up a bit, but yeah, it's getting there. There's certainly room for improvement. It's not the same as the 35th scale kit by any means, but what you have, you've got the basics. A skilled modeller shouldn't find any problems adding more detail to this kit. And here we have the running gear sprues. Realistically, all goes together really nicely. The tracks are individual link. There's a lot of pieces on here, and they will realistically articulate. You actually get a number of these bags. This is only separated two out for the purposes of this video. This sprue, you get two of this sprue. Again, very good detail. The bolt heads, all of this will pick up really well. How are you going to weather this? That's going to be a real good question. It has been suggested you just leave it outside for a couple of weeks and just bring it back in again, because it will weather realistically. It is so huge. Most disappointing areas coming up though, which is on this sprue. These are the main tyres and wheels. The back of this wheel, beautiful detail at the front. Absolutely nothing at the back. You'd have thought they'd put some kind of insert in there, because though you won't see a lot of the rear surface, it will be visible on the completed model. Again, not quite sure how to sort that out. I know it has been suggested that you could take a resin casting of the front, sand it down, pitch it in at the back. Yeah, it seems a lot of work, especially in a model of this price. Would have expected that to have been done. Instructions, well, very simplistic. Only 14 stages, a massive kit, not a lot of assembly. It has no internal detail at all, so you can spend all your time adding as much as you want to the outside. Only one marking option. Personally, I think that's a little bit lazy. An overall green tank with white stars. There are plenty of jumbo Shermans with this big gun that had name and nose art. It would have been nice to have one of those included in the kit, but not to be, I'm afraid. You're on your own. Though in this scale, adding that, kind of painting that by hand, totally possible if you have the skills. So what do we have? It's a big Sherman, a really big Sherman, certainly the centerpiece of any collection. Plenty of room for work on it. I mean, realistically, a modeler could spend years on detailing this baby. It's just there. I always have that little bit of underlying disappointment at this price point. I would have expected detail equivalent to a 1/35th scale kit, and what I'm actually getting is detail that's more reminiscent of a 1/35th scale kit from the 1970s. So definitely work to be added. Thanks to the hobby company for supplying the review sample. They're the UK importers, and this kit is quite widely available now from most major retailers, though you normally would have to order it because of the price point.